Did y'all know Chris Rock was in New York? He went to high school at the time when integration was really accelerating, and they bused Chris Rock to a white school where he was made fun of, called a nigger, and just beat up, and he turned all that trauma, all that being alone, raising in a bowl of milk, he turned that into a multi-million-dollar empire. Maya, go ahead.
Professor, I just want to say this about Chris Rock. I would definitely not hold him to any type of standard because he let white people call him nigger on TV. So the thing is, he, for whatever reason, I don't know if this applies to what Final Boss was saying about women, but men who also suffer through abuse. I have zero respect for Chris Rock sitting here letting white comedians sit here and use the N-word or call him a nigger or whatever with an A or a hard ER. So, yeah, I think that he's still holding on to that trauma. Personal opinion, I don't find him funny. And I yield the mic.
Yeah, I hear you, Kush, because I feel the same way. I had to struggle whether I was going to mention Oprah Winfrey or not, but I had to. I have similar sentiments towards Oprah, but she's excellent. She is absolutely excellent, and I'm going to give that to her.
It's not that we like the people. We're just talking about how they transmuted these violent activities into something positive for themselves, even if we don't like them. Ray Charles is another one. He grew up in poverty, went blind as a child, endured beatings, and was sent to a harsh, segregated school, became a musical genius. I have one here that I don't want to mention. I don't like her. I don't care whether she got beat up.
Mike Tyson was molested at 7 years old by some random dude. The rapper Common was molested around the age 8 or 9 years old. And Sugar Ray Leonard was molested by an Olympic boxing coach when he was 14 or 15 years old.
See these people, they just get away with these things, these people's aunts, and why don't we get to see a picture of these weirdos?
R. Kelly was abused.
Nobody always just about to say
well, yep. I was going to say when it comes to men and when their sexual abuser is a woman, there's a double standard in this country about holding women accountable for abusing children. So that's why we don't see these women like Ike Turner. He was abused multiple times, I think, before he was 6 years old by grown women in his, I'm not going to say his neighborhood because where he lived, I think there was some women that lived nearby. We're never going to know about these women. And some of these women that were abused, they were abused by women in their families. We're never going to hear about the women abusers. Very rarely, if ever.
Oh, yeah. I got another one for y'all that we don't think about. How Maya Angelou. Maya Angelou was raped by her mama's boyfriend. And
isn't that why? Isn't that what I know why the Cage Bird sing? Isn't that what that story is based off of? Yep. Or am I okay?
Yep. On that Ike Turner thing, he saw his daddy get beat by a lynch mob. He was beat to death, and and like something about like the what's love got to do with it thing. I don't know if y'all heard Judge Joe Brown, but he got a little bit on that where he said that Tina was kind of a gorilla. Yeah, so she was a savage. Said she tied some lady to the back of a truck in Memphis and drug her around and yeah, said that he that she had basically wore her knees out, and for the rest of her life she walked with a cane and a limp. She couldn't walk. But
the woman that got dragged around.
Yes, ma'am. That's what the judge said. That he saw her when she was real old, and she couldn't walk at all. And he said, "What happened?" And she told him the story and said, "Yeah, Tina was a gorilla pimp in Memphis." Yeah,
damn.
Tina said, "Little bitty Tina used to whoop ass." Yeah, but as far as harsh conditions creating greatness, that's the classic diamond in the rough. Well, the cold turning into the diamond under pressure. That's somebody who was a Buddhist kind of said that's kind of a thing with them where they believe that sacrifice, willing sacrifice or willing hardship will create pureness of some sort or some sort of greatness.
You said Buddhists said that?
You know Bodhi, Black Bodhi?
Oh, yeah. What happened to him?
Nah, he be on there. He be on there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get him on. I'm gonna get him in one day. He got a weird schedule, but but yeah, he's a Buddhist, and that's something that he used to always say that that was something that was a principle in Buddhism was that it was kind of a delayed gratification kind of thing, kind of suffering or not necessarily suffering, but discipline, going without was sort of a principle to kind of get you to the next level and things like that. And I think this society kind of teaches the opposite. It teaches like Western society teaches a complete opposite. It teaches to overindulge whenever you can. And you're never really going to get that sort of greatness like how a lot of those cats did that's been mentioned. So, yeah, and then Bobby.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say Bobby Hemmett goes in on that too. He goes in on that's the reason why Black Americans are the cream of the crop, because we are the ones put under pressure. Unlike any other group, we are the ones, 10% of the population surrounded by devils. And, under these conditions, this coal has produced a diamond like no other. That's why nobody can compare it to us in terms of our soul or Majara or however you want to say it. That's 100% applied to us, like this entire principle, in my opinion.
You're absolutely right. No other person is put under that type of pressure. Being colonized or whatever you want to say was going on in Africa is not the same thing. It's a completely different thing. Having people up in your face, even the fact a lot of people on the islands had absentee ownership, so they never even saw the slave owner. Like you said earlier, they could appeal to the Catholic Church. Oh, I'm not being treated right on the plantation. Okay, go to another one. We didn't have those types of safety nets. We didn't have any safety net. We just had to fight against these people or die. Fight them or die. Sometimes we killed them. Sometimes they killed us. We had to live under very, very harsh conditions. Unbelievable. Living with the threat of death all the time. It wasn't even just your actions. Some bimbo could go in the house and do something with the plantation owner and get everybody jacked up. She could go in and do something, and you'd have to make a decision to turn her in or everybody gets killed. I mean, it was incredible. I could go into more things, but I just want to run down some. I don't need to give all the details, but Jackie Wilson, Sam Cooke, Laverne Baker, Little Richard. Little Richard was beat up for being flamboyant. Can you imagine that? And in a religious household. And, of course, he was flamboyant and kept on doing it and shaped rock and roll. Aretha Franklin and Bill Withers stuttered as a child, and he was bullied and beaten. His stepfather beat him. He grew up under racial violence, and he transformed his pain into deeply human music. So he was, bullied by children because he stuttered, and then beaten up by his stepfather. So yeah, he had a lot of pressure. One of the worst situations is when you have pressure outside of the home, and then you go inside the home where you should be safe, and then you have the tyrant in the house. So it's like you have nowhere to be safe. There's nowhere to be free of people bothering you.
Yeah. Another good one that y'all are not going to want to hear is Terry Crews, the actor and football player. Terry was abused at home. His father, was very abusive. And he turned that into, I'm going to play football. Football was going to be his outlet to let aggression, I can't hit my daddy, but I'm going to hit this nigga on the field. You know what I'm saying? Another good one that makes a lot of sense is Queen Latifah, right? Queen Latifah was sexually abused when she was a baby by a dude that was babysitting her. And oftentimes,
baby, when is wrong with people?
yeah, what the fuck, man? But um, it makes sense in a way because children react. Well, according to when I studied psychology in grad school, it can sexual abuse can manifest itself in certain ways. It can make you not be attracted to the opposite sex if you're abused, and it can make you. What I learned is oftentimes, especially with our sisters or you ladies, when they're sexually abused by a male at a young age, and this happened to one of my family members, a distant cousin, they start trying to dress like the opposite sex to not attract the aggressor. You know what I'm saying? And if you put that in context, Queen Latifah makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, they can either become promiscuous or not want anything to do with males. Let me see if there's some more. Jack Johnson, Jim Brown, Allen Iverson, Jackie Robinson, beaten and abused repeatedly by white communities growing up before breaking Major League Baseball's color barrier. Muhammad Ali did not face parental beatings like others, but he endured systemic abuse, racism, FBI surveillance, and banishment from boxing, and was still considered the greatest.
Wow, Jack Johnson, what happened to him?
Jack Johnson, born to formerly enslaved parents, he endured racial violence and systemic abuse, rose to become. So he basically was abused by the public. Wow. And his parents had been enslaved. So that's violence from just the lineage of violence.
Wow.
Technically, under a system of white supremacy, we've all experienced some form of that, whether we realize it or not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we all been abused, but not to these levels,
Right.
So with that being said, you might as well throw in Rosa Parks. Harriet Tubman. You got to throw her in there.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I mean, just living in a state of paranoia, it's not paranoia if it actually happens, right?
Right.
I mean, it is, but it isn't. But just like any move that you make, you have to always second guess it. Like, are they going to not give me this job because I'm Black? Am I not going to get this office space or this apartment? Or people, it's like you have to second guess everything. This is a burden that a lot of other people don't have. And they certainly don't have to have that if they would take their butts home and leave the United States of America. Anybody who's not white. The only people should be worrying about this are actual people that belong here, Black Americans. All these other people hooping and hollering about racism, they need to go home. Why are you here, an Indian, talking about people being racist to you, or an Arab, or anybody, when there's places where everyone is you? What's the problem? You don't have to experience racism.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Racism can affect your cognitive abilities, and while I do think we're the smartest people in the world, I feel like we would be much more. You're gonna see the creation. You're gonna see the emergence of what Hitler was trying to do with the the perfected man. You're probably gonna see that come out of us, right? Without any oppressing anybody or anything. And this whole concept of transhumanism that these white supremacists are trying to do, if you really want to transcend our current state of humanity, all you have to do is just stop fucking over Black people, and we'll do it for the whole planet. Right. We're it's addition by subtraction. Just give us what's owed to us and stop fucking with us, and we'll push humanity forward because we've been doing it ever since our ethnogenesis has occurred. That's why everybody mimics us.
Well, like FBA Trade Day said a while back, Bobby Hemmett said that was the whole point, was on a divine level, was to push us to becoming what Neely Fuller called universal man and universal woman. There's nothing like us. Like Wani said, not even in Africa. The Africans, with being pushed in similar but not as extreme situations in us, in a beautiful homeland full of resources, decided to join with the system of white supremacy as opposed to fighting it. So there's something special about us. I want to bring up one more that is one of my favorites with respect to this topic. She's one of my favorites because she was so talented and she got overlooked and dismissed first by the system of white supremacy, but then the Boule crowd turned their back on her. Monique was raped and molested by her own brother. And she turned that pain into a very successful career as a comedian and an Academy Award winning actress. So I think she can't be overlooked, or shouldn't be overlooked.
Yeah. Professor, on that thing with Bobby Hemmett, he also said something that, it's kind of deep. Don't want to sound defeatist or anything, but he also said that America is like this is like a torture chamber for us. This is a phase. This is a phase of hell, and with the whites being the devils and whatnot. This ain't meant for us to enjoy as a whole, if that makes sense.
I can believe that.
Yeah, this is like hell. And what he says is, this is the place where the ascension will come. The Messiah will come out of this group. That's what he says. This is you can't look to a devil to give you heaven. So, that's why
Messiah?
a Christ figure of sorts, a person who reaches Christ consciousness.
Black students, we need to know our history.
The black history we're being taught in public schools is repetitive.
As a black high school student, I want to learn more about my history in the school books.
We need to update our books.
As black American students, we deserve an accurate depiction of what history truly is.
I want to see myself in these textbooks.
In the public school system, black history is vague.
Why don't the school books ever talk about the Freedmen's Bureau? I created the workbook for the African American family. This book helps fill in the gaps that the school books don't. Purchase the workbook for the African American family on OurStoryPublications.com and use the Cash App, $Our Story Publications.